And now the Hebrew of the week, coming to you out of COVID quarantine. Thank the Lord, my family here in New York is coming out of COVID. We seem to have made it. So praise the Lord and thank the Lord for that. The Hebrew of the week, Psalm 8. I've done some verses in Psalm 8. I think I've done actually all of Psalm 8 so far. This might be the last I do in Psalm 8. But I want to do Psalm 8, 5, and 6. This is still part of the psalm that the New Testament quotes. So let's go. Vata kasa rehu. Vata kasa rehu. So vav patak doubling. That's the way you make a converted imperfect, which is a true past tense. The tav is the imperfect performative. It is a second masculine singular, which means a Y-O-U, you singular. And it's, of course, referring to Yahweh, to God, referring to God. And you, now you can see here in the middle, kasar, that is that's the core here. Most Hebrew verbs and words have a 3-consonant root down in the very, there's a whole bunch of junk added on it. It's not junk. There's a whole bunch of stuff added on the front and on the back, but the heart of hearts is right in there, kasar. And then hu is an object suffix, him. You made him lower. Now, this doubled samic is a hint that this is a D stem, a doubling stem, a PL stem. And the PL has a sense of putting something in the state of. So if to kasar in the basic stem means to lower or to lessen, then the D stem means to put into a lowered state. You made him lower. That doesn't imply that Adam existed before he was born. That's making too much out of it. It's basically saying you made him lower, is the way it's often translated. You put him lower. You made him lower. Him being humanity. So women are included in that. And you made him lower, ma'at, a bit, just a teeny bit, a ma'at. You made him just a little bit lower, me Elohim, from God. Now, you could translate it from gods. There are some translations that translate this from the angels. I suspect they do that because they feel a little uncomfortable, to say that humanity is made a little lower than God. Of course, we know that humanity is made a whole lot lower than God. Humanity is made astronomically lower than God. So I think I'm going to take it a little hyperbolically. It's not just a little. It's pretty significant. And I don't know that we are justified in thinking of this as angels or then the gods, because Elohim means God in the Old Testament generally as a singular. So you made humanity a little lower than God, which is, one of the Reformation, the 5 solas. One of the 5 solas is sola Dei gratia, to God alone, be the grace. But God has made humanity to share His glory, and so I think although we have no intrinsic value or intrinsic worth, we don't have. I don't want to say that we don't have any intrinsic glory. We have a derivative glory from the Lord because God made us a little lower than God. And so this is a psalm basically saying that humanity does have glory, but it's a derivative glory. But there is a glory that God has given humanity. You made him a little lower than God. The kavod, the hadar, and glory and honor, you crowned him. You crowned him with glory and honor. So remember the previous verses say, what is humanity that you think about them? What is humanity that you visit them? You made him a little lower than God, and with glory and honor you crowned him. So we have here similar form to this one here, although it's not a converted imperfect. It's an imperfect. The tav, again, on the front suggests it's second masculine singular, imperfect. There is a doubled second consonant, which means this has to be a vocal schwa. I've said this before, that when you have a doubled consonant in Hebrew and a schwa under it, it has to be a vocal schwa. And I know that this is a vocal schwa. It's also under a doubled letter. So ta'atarehu, ta'atarehu. The accent is on the re. Maybe I mispronounced this. Maybe this should be vatakasarehu. Sometimes that happens with object suffixes. The accent is not on the object suffix, but on the last syllable of the word itself. This is also a D. It's also doubled. You put him in a crown. You put a crown on his head. You crowned him. Atari, a crown. I don't know whether that makes any sense at all. All right, but anyway, who is the him? So you made him a little lower than God, and you crowned him with glory and honor. Let's keep going here. Now this does not seem to be a doubled, this is not a doubled mem, and this is a simple schwa after a patak, which is a short vowel. So I'm going to think that this is an actual silent schwa closing the syllable. So tam shi lehu. The tav is again second masculine singular, as we've seen now 3 times. You, and then mashal is to rule. You caused him to rule. Now this Hirik yod, in between the second and third core consonant, is a telltale sign of the H stem, or the hifil stem, which is a causative stem. You caused him to rule. So mashal by itself would mean to rule, but in the H stem, it would mean to cause to rule. And this patak under the performative also is a hint that we're looking at a H imperfect. So this is a hifil imperfect, second masculine singular from mashal with a third masculine singular object suffix. You caused him to rule. Ba ma'ashe, yadeka. Over, so ba means in, but it can mean on, it can mean over. You caused him to rule over ma'ase, the works of. The Sarah Yod is a construct, masculine plural construct ending. So the works, over the works of, and then your hands. The ka is a second masculine singular possessive pronoun. Your hands. The Yod indicates that it's hands, not over the work of your hand. God's not one-handed. Of course, it's metaphorical, right? I don't think God actually has literal hands. But anyway, you caused him to rule, that is humanity, over the works of your hands. Kol shata takat rag live. All you placed under his feet. You placed everything under his feet. So kol is all. And then shata, this is from sheet, to place. Because we're talking about God, I'm thinking this has to be, is this from sheet or from shata? Anyway, again, actually this looks like another D stem, another doubled one. You put him in a state of everything under his feet. This would be a perfect third masculine singular. Under his feet. So regal, feet, the regal feet. And then vav is, again, a third masculine singular possessive, his. And then the yod indicates it's plural, and so his feet. All right, so to put it all together, we have, you put humanity a little lower than God. What is humanity that you think about them? That you pay attention to them. You put him a little lower than God. You crowned them with glory and honor. You caused them to rule over the works of your hands. You put everything under their feet. This has been Psalm 8, 5, and 6, the Hebrew of the week.